All right, here we are in our scenic art shop. And behind me, through these doors where we wheel the sets, there's a set construction area. And there's about 25,000 square feet of that, and as you can see, the ceilings are about 48 feet high to accommodate the size of the different pieces that we need to make. So, we're here and in the scene shop, and I want to introduce you to some people. First of all, the gentleman who heads up our construction of sets, Neil Cheney, and then one of our senior individuals in terms of painting the sets and make magic happen, Blair Yeoman, and then over here, Doug Paraschuk.
What you can see here is actually what you see here right now currently is 3 distinct looks. We have Taming of the Shrew, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet. Each of them creates a completely new environment, a completely new world on the festival stage.
Let's begin with Romeo and Juliet. Now, Des McAnuff is directing Romeo and Juliet. He has got a stellar cast. A newcomer who I saw audition as fantastic, Nikki James, and saw her perform in La Jolla, as well as Gareth Potter, who is one of the rising up and coming stars at the festival. Where is that at right now?
In terms of construction, we're basically working on the floor right now, getting the texturing happening. Blair will address a little bit of that, and it's about to get some color. So it's about to go from a plaster background to this fantastic piazza terracotta treatment that we see in the model.
Blair, that beautiful set is all terracotta, but this is gray. Why?
Well, to establish the texture, first you need to make up a mix, and we've got a mixture of foam coat and a Roscoe Bond type of glue that's quite lightweight because the designer wanted quite a depth of texture for this show. So in order to accommodate that, we've been able to get it in a fairly lightweight way, and then it'll be base coated out, and different washes of texture will sink into all the different areas of pockets of texture and things like that.
Hamlet this season will be directed by Adrian Noble, who comes to us from about 13 seasons of running the RSC. And he's working with Santo Loquasto, who is a designer who's worked with us for many years. And this set seems to encompass a number of different elements at once.
What Santo Loquasto was trying to do with the design of this production is create a kind of fragmented world that basically we can move scene by scene through and address all of the transitions that we need to in order to tell the story. What you see here is a non-naturalistic setting, a floor that is focused, surrounded by a marshy scenic element that basically is laid into our lower steps on the basic, and up above you've got theatrical lighting and a chandelier in the middle. Upstage there are some smaller elements that provide some sense of period place.
Hamlet is played by Ben Carlson, an actor who has been at the Shaw Festival for a number of years. He's phenomenal. He recently played Hamlet in Chicago and won a Jeff Award for Best Performance. And I think that community was just terrific to give an award for the best performance to actually a Canadian. This is the set that we're going to have in place for The Music Man. It's designed by Patrick Clark. The show's directed by Susan Schulman, who brought us many wonderful productions like Fiddler on the Roof and Man of La Mancha. It looks enormous, Neil. Can you compare this to other sets that we've done?
Well, it does have that large-scale feeling to it because we're at the Abbey. So in terms of large scale, because it's a proscenium theater, we get away with these large portal units which fly out and go away. So it's not a huge set to handle. It's a large set to actually put on the stage during the show. These large components come and go. The library unit, there's a bridge, there's a gazebo, there's a myriad of small-scale buildings which are already done, and they're into the lighting elements already. We're putting lights inside them all. But there's a half a dozen small buildings that are really fantastic.
Blair, these look like they're beautiful grays and linen colors and whites that are there for the small town. And I've got some of the different costume sketches we'll see over at the wardrobe as well. But they're going to look beautiful against that. Can you just show us what you're doing and what you're working on now?
Sure.
So these are the staircase units that we just saw on that set.
Yeah, this is part of the library unit with the wrought iron stairs. And the basic paint job is quite simple in terms of Patrick wants a very modern feel to it. So not a lot of traditional kind of naturalistic looking details. It's kind of flat areas of color to give that modern look.
Now there's small little houses here as well that Neil referred to. So
yeah,
what are these and what will they look like?
Well, these are just amazing. We've completed about 6 of them, and people come in the shop and they're just can't believe that we have these little miniature buildings. And when I found out that people are going to be dancing with them, I thought, like, that's just awesome, you know. So they are actually extremely movable, and this one, I think, sits upstage and doesn't get danced with quite as much as the others.
All right, I'm on the set of Music Man. I'm resisting all urges to dance. But that was not resisted by our own Harold Hill, who's none other than Jonathan Goad. Now, Johnny Goad is a fantastic singer and dancer, and was actually in Fiddler. He's going to be accompanied by Marion the Librarian, of course, who's Leah Osler, a great talent, and I think that overall it's one of the strongest musical companies we've gotten together. So this is the set for The Taming of the Shrew, directed by Peter Hinton, and Santo Loquasto has done the set. And this is what I'm standing on the festival stage, and it is beautiful to look at. There's new materials that have been used in terms of these planks to really highlight the color, and maybe Blair can tell us the effect of that. But this whole thing is enormous.
As you're saying, the materials in the floor are something that in the common world are used as understructure. You never see these things in the finished world. It's aspenite, right. Or chipboard, or whatever you want to call it. But when the scenic art gets done with it, it's a fabulous looking material.
So this is the material right here that we're using for the Shrew, and
right.
Tell us about it and what impact it has when you're painting it.
Well, it's really beautiful to look at. Santo had spoken of it appearing like bent grass, and he really likes the natural look of it. So when we add color to it, it just tends to soak in and bring out the different texture of the pieces on their own. And then it gets quite a kind of a matte finish, which again deepens it further. This is the set that we're using for Amanda Daynard's production of Cabaret, and it's been designed by Doug Perischuk. And I want you to have a good look at it, because we're about to go to the Avon stage and stand on it. It's made. But what struck me as being incredible as we were doing it is that it's really substantially made out of pink foam.
Basically, you start with foam, you start layering up with it, and then you take acetates and things that actually eat away into the foam, and from that we get this very, very, very dilapidated look.